right, take two. Not sure what happened with technology. We're rolling with it. We're going to just start this over. This is for the podcast episode, Courageous and Free with Jacqueline Mack. So if you do want to go back and listen to this, if you caught this at an off time or you're halfway through it, it's all good. And if you have any comments here on Instagram land while I am talking, please feel free to jump in, comment, say hello. I will get to those at the end, but since I'm recording it for a podcast, I want to jump right in and get started. What does it truly mean to go all in? I've heard this time and time again on going all in. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? It's different for everybody. But what I can tell you, this is where actions speak louder than words. This is where real commitment comes after you've decided. People who are truly going on and all in on either relationship, their business, their time, their money freedom, their fulfillment, their just blissfulness when it comes to enjoying life. There's a huge difference between setting a goal and going all in. And now, the result can be a goal, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, there is much that has been costing you up until this point because you maybe haven't gone all in on something. And that something usually is something of value to you, is in your value system, is in your vision, is something that you feel deeply called to. Now, what it's probably costing you by not going all in is money, time, fulfillment. In any one of those categories, you can break that up into other segments as well. So going all in doesn't mean the grind, the hustle, until you break down, because this is where a lot of people think that's what's required. Now, it does require you to show up, but if you are grinding and hustling, please hear me when I say this. You're grinding and hustling to obtain an experience or a goal or a desire. That is what it's going to take you to experience it again, a grind and a hustle. And I don't know about you, but grinding and hustling is not sustainable. I know because I've burnt out twice from grinding and hustling, right? So what it means is that doing what's hard in life will eventually allow you to see and experience what's easy. Just like changing your subconscious mind. If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's hard because we've created these patterns and they've been built up over decades in time and they become very, very strong. So we do what's hard, life gets to be easy. We do what's easy, life will be hard. And I'm not saying like that 75 hard thing. There's so many opinions about 75 hard. I think 75 hard is a great thing to do that will challenge someone, just like training for a marathon will challenge someone. But it's like, what are you doing? What type of habits are you building out of the thing to get to the end result of the experience of completing 75 hard? Or what are you doing as far as habits and building in your health and vitality and discipline into running a marathon? Like those are challenging experiences. And at the end of the day, it's what are those pieces that you're taking away and creating as part of your habitual lifestyle? This is what I'm talking about going all in. Anybody can go all in for a week or a month or 3 months or even a few, like 6 months. But why are you going all in? And what is the result and how you are and be and show up and the experience of the goal? Like everybody's like, I'm going all in on this goal. It's New Year's. It's September. I want to end the year strong. I'm going all in. I'm like, okay. But what does that mean? Because our perception is our reality and we get to decide what that means for us. What does that next level of success look like and feel like to you? Is it more time freedom? Is it more money freedom? Is it both? Is it fulfillment? Is it deeper connections in your community and your relationship? Is it giving back generously? Like, what is it? You have to define that first. If you're not clear on that, doesn't matter how much courage you have on going all in, it'll be very difficult to hit that target. Clarity is key to hitting the target and understanding what you're going all in after. So when we talk about a lot of this, there's a lot of, I guess, myth busting in this episode today, because the other part before I go deeper into this is the momentum of success. You know, success does carry this momentum and it's easy to go all in when you have decided, but the commitment comes after the decision. And when you have success pulling you already along the way, it's really easy to say, oh, I'm all in. I'm reaching this next level of success and enjoying the ride. And we should enjoy and savor that ride. But again, it's not just about the destination. It's about the journey of who you are, the energy of who you are and how you're showing up to get there. And at the end of the day, the novelty of hitting that milestone of making $250,000 in a year, or signing that big client, or rolling out that program, or getting that relationship and building out a future and getting married or having the child. There's so many different facets going all in can mean for someone. And there's so many facets of success and what that looks as we are as individuals. And so at the end of the day, it's like, are you willing to create the will to go all in, even when you're not being pulled by the success or being pulled by the novelty of the last thing that you just accomplished? Because that's what's critical to understand. This will allow you to be more resilient and experience next level success, next level fulfillment on a consistent, regular, maintaining basis, which is really what we all are desiring, right? We're not just here to like hit the goal and be like, okay, now what? Go to Tahiti, check it off the list. Okay, that's beautiful. What's the next most beautiful thing I can experience? And again, how do we do this? By also removing the hustle and the grind that we have created as a paradigm in going all in. Because I'm here to tell you, hustling and grinding is not sustainable, right? And I love the hustle and grind. I thrive off of those moments of sprinting, but it's not sustainable, nor is it something to maintain when we're talking about receiving that end result over and over and over and over again, that dream, that desire, that goal. And so when you think about next level of success, when you think about fulfillment and what is going to be required, I mentioned the word courage, I mentioned the word clarity, and I mentioned now the words, a different version of you. A different version of you. This is the part my husband and I used to argue about many years ago. And I say this laughing because it's true. He's like, when are you ever going to just be happy with where you're at? And I'm like, whoa, that landed for me like a ton of bricks, because I loved what I had already accomplished. I had dreamed of days to own the house and have the car and the kids and the dogs and the bunnies and the cats and the vacations and the relationships and the community and the giving backness that I was like, whoa, I dreamed of these days and here we are living it. And yet I desire more. Who am I not to desire more? But who am I also to be in gratitude for what allowed me to experience this? Who I showed up as, where I got vulnerable, how I asked, and who did I hire as my coaches and my mentors to crack me open and allow that to grow through the challenges versus being held back by circumstances, situations, or conditions. And what really landed for me in that moment is that, yeah, it's going to require a different version of me. But all the yummy pieces that he fell in love with and that I honor and fell in love with will still be there too. It's just the other pieces that I'm honoring and releasing are no longer going to be holding me back from that next level. Because if we play at one level and we just honor and recognize all that we are at that level, and we don't actually step out of our comfort zone into discomfort and being comfortable with the uncomfortable, and growing into our potential, we miss out on so much opportunity and so much possibilities. That I am certain of. So it's all about the awareness of knowing and acknowledging it's going to require a completely different version of you. Knowing and acknowledging that it's going to require a lot of courage, a lot of confidence, and a lot of clarity. And a lot of support and frameworks will expedite the process. And you get to choose who's in your corner, who's on your team. Is it a coach? Is it a mentor? Is it a colleague? Is it a community? Is it a mastermind? What is it that you're desiring to support you through this process? Because it will get there one day, or you won't achieve it in one lifetime. And at the end of the day, it's you on your deathbed deciding, what did I regret and what am I most proud of? That's it. And I know it's weird to bring up death when we're talking about going all in, because we're all going through this thing called life and none of us get out alive, right? None of us really get out alive. And so when we can recognize that, wow, I have this short life to live that I get to live, that I get to design, that I get to go all in on, that I get to decide what I value, what's worth it to me, what I do want to experience more of, and what I want to cherish and create. Because that's really all this is. We can make 60,000 decisions in a day. We can make all this money in the world, and yet we cannot buy back time. We cannot go back and buy back yesterday or an hour ago. So what are we choosing to decide to go all in on is critical. There are times I went all in on the wrong thing. Yet hindsight's 2020. I didn't know it was the wrong thing until I got there, and I was like, oh, this is not what I wanted. I thought it was what I wanted because it looked great. So this is the whole concept, is the grass is greener on the other side. No, it's greener where you water it. And if you open up your awareness to the fact that pay attention to what you're watering, or are you on your phone while you're watering the damn thing and you're like, oh, I'm growing weeds, shit, what do I do now? It's like, get out of your own way, eliminate the distractions, and become super honest with yourself on what are you noticing that you're noticing. Because when you go all in on you, going all in on you requires you to go all in on your health. It requires you to go all in on your relationships. It requires you to go all in on the work that you're doing in the world. It requires you to really understand what fulfillment needs to do to you. And it's your responsibility to assure you're living out your fulfillment. No one's going to go live out your fulfillment for you. And if they did, you wouldn't be in the experience. So what's the point? This is the problem with social media. This is why I love it. It's like that double-edged sword. You can see what's possible for you because other people are doing it. But are you just living vicariously through their fulfillment? Blah, that's just seems disgusting to me. I'm sorry. And if it doesn't to you, then maybe I'm not your person. But fulfillment is living life by design, your design, with the intention, with the activation, with the showing up, with the beingness, because otherwise you're going to continue to live in default mode. And that will continue to give you the life that you're currently experiencing. And if you're living the best damn life ever, and everything that you are doing and experiencing is evolving into next level, then good for you. Pay attention to what you're doing and start to look at what you're noticing and allow it to be duplicatable and allow yourself to still live that out. But are you continuing to grow through it, or are you starting to settle? That's the other thing. It's a dance. And this is the other part where people can get caught up in the self-mastery and the lifestyle and the doing the things and going to the books and reading all the things and practicing how to become a better person. And it's like, those are all great, but are you doing that while you're enjoying the journey? Because what's the point if you're not clear on what the value of the point is for you? And this is just a matter of fact when it comes to going all in on you, not just going all in on the goal or the shiny object or that thing that you've been desiring since you were 2 or just last month. Just because you desired it doesn't mean that it has to be something that you may or may never get. Or you might desire it one day and it's like, well, did I really want that? I'm halfway through this journey and I'm not loving this. This is a not it experience. Well, is it the journey and the route and the strategy you're taking? Or is it the thing that you thought you desired was because other people were doing it and it sounded good and it looked good and it seemed like the grass was greener over there? Like, be honest with yourself. It's okay. It's okay to say, hey, I've changed my mind. But it's not okay to say you want something so desperately bad and yet you don't know how to be fully committed to go all in on it. That's not okay. To me, that fires me up because I believe wholeheartedly every person has a desire within them and they deserve to experience it. And I know what it feels like to not experience it. And I know what it feels like to break down and burn out before experiencing it. And I know what it feels like to experience it. And I know how quickly the novelty can wear off if we're not equipped with the framework to allow it to be consistent in our life. See, persistence can get us to the goal once. Persistence can allow us to learn how to hustle and grind and to experience whatever that is we desire one time. It's the consistency that carries us through the journey of experiencing it again and again and again. And other people say it's the consistency that allows you to keep it. Well, to me, there's no like keeping things. It's either a part of your life or it isn't. It's a part of someone's journey or it's not. And it goes back to that whole perception is reality, and what we decide it to be will be, and we always get to choose again, permission to choose again. But what most people do is they get caught up in the enoughness. There's not enough time, there's not enough money, or I missed my chance, or I don't have enough credentials, or I don't have enough of this, or I don't have the kid yet, or I don't have the partner yet. And there's just not enoughness, or I'm not enough. There's just this feeling because somebody said something, or we are comparing ourselves to other people. And again, our only competition in this whole freaking world is what's between our ears. Once you can release that, whew, so much freedom. Release where you think you're not enough because you're comparing. And know that the only competition is between your ears. So now that you know this, what things would you love to overcome? What beliefs and thought systems would you like to anchor into that are new and fire and wire on a consistent basis so that they are stronger than they've ever been in your entire life? And they are fueling you in what you are living, breathing, deciding, and committing to each day. That's real freedom. That's real commitment. That's real fulfillment at the level of your values and your vision, which is living life by design. And it's that consistency and those little reps. It's the consistency that will get you to your fulfillment time and time again. And then you'll grow through it and say, this is something I want to continue, or no, I'm moving on to the next thing. And you're going to have the tools and the framework to go ahead and move on to the next thing and not feel stuck because of a situation, circumstance, or condition of, again, not enoughness. I got this far, but now I still don't have enough to go that far. I want to call BS on that, because we live in an abundant world. We live in an abundant world, and yet our thoughts are so powerful. What we believe is true. You believe that you can, you're right. You believe that you can't, you're right. That's how powerful our truth is. That's how powerful our beliefs are. So what do you want to know to be true? What do you want to decide is true for you? And this all comes back to, again, what is it costing you each month or year by not going all in on living out a fulfilled life now and not giving your power away to someday when you retire, or someday when this happens, or someday when that happens? It's costing you inevitably your health. If you look at it, be honest, the stress levels that you have or don't have, because you're not putting yourself in situations to grow and expand, or you're putting yourself in so many situations that you're not taking time to recover. Either way, your health is at jeopardy there. Your relationships, your time freedom, your money freedom, your fulfillment. Maybe you're missing out on $200,000 a year. Maybe you're missing out on $5 million a year. Maybe that's what it's costing you, because that's your potential and that's what's possible for you, but you're being held back because you're a coward. You're scared. You think you're not enough, when that all is a lie. Now, except for being scared, that could be true. Maybe you are scared, but scared and scarcity is lack. Abundance, potentiality, and fulfillment are at a higher vibe frequency, right? So if you're scared, why? Well, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if this? Negative thing happens, negative thing happens, the other negative thing happens. Well, what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? And what if you had the tools? What if you had the structure and the framework and the courage to live out your vivid vision, to understand and be super duper clear on your values and master your decision making, to fuel them both? Who are you as the person to go all in? Who are you as the person to go all in through it all? Who are you? Who are you as the person experiencing the desires? Who are you as the person practicing and showing up as the person in their power beyond the powers that you currently have? Who are you? That's the question today. Who are you to go all in? Who are you to commit? What does real commitment look like to you? What's the thing that you fear or that feels a little challenging that you could go all in on today that your future self will thank you for? Is it a conversation? Is it creating something new? Is it setting something bigger? Is it taking that next step? And what are those steps? Because you can set all the goals in the world and you keep setting them every year. You can keep reviewing them every September. You can keep reviewing them every month. You can keep reviewing them every quarter. So who you are as this person experiencing what you desire and what does it look like is critical. And it's going to take some courage and it's going to take some confidence. But how do you get the confidence? By taking consistent, aligned action. The courage plus consistent, aligned action will give you confidence and competence at anything and everything in life. I'm certain of that. And this is, again, where actions will speak louder than words. I am here to support you. What you are not changing, you are choosing. What you are not changing, you are choosing. How does that feel when you hear that? And then say it to yourself, what I am not changing, I am choosing. What I am not changing, I am choosing. How does that feel? What comes up for you? There are things that your soul desires to change. How can we have this head-heart coherence and start living a much more richer, fulfilled life? The kind that money cannot buy. And yet it feels like you've just hit the lottery and won all the money in the world. And what is it costing you not to? What is it costing you not to? Is it your fulfillment? Is it your happiness? Is it your connection? Is it your love? Is it your adventure? Is it money? What is it? Be honest with yourself and don't be ashamed of any of your answers. If you need some help with this, meet me in the DMs. If you'd like to jump on an Activate and Create call, those are still happening. I'm giving away about, I think it's 5 or 6 or 7 of those a week. They keep growing because people are like, that time doesn't work. And I open up more time. Why? Because I know the most generous people have more to give. And I know that every freaking soul on this planet deserves to understand what it's like to live from their vision, to understand the gap, to start to master their decision-making skills, to start to feel fulfillment before the thing happens, because that's how it happens. It's the only way it can happen, is feeling it first. Whatever it is, whatever that result of hitting that goal provides for you, it's going to gift you with some feelings of experiencing that. And what are those feelings? And start to feel and anchor into those now. So just drop me the word all in my DMs. I'll send you the link and I look forward to seeing you soon. Till next time, sending you so much love.